Other interesting business news, you have Geico saying they'll lay off about 6% of their staff. Now, that equates, again, when you always look at business statistics, political statistics, any statistics in general, really, you always want to ask yourself, what's the sample size? What's the big picture? Because sure, 6%, well, if you have 100 employees, yeah, that's 6 people. But because of the huge size of Geico, relatively speaking, that equates to laying off about 2,000 employees. So that's quite unfortunate if you work there, and quite concerning in terms of, historically speaking, one of the most profitable businesses throughout time has been insurance companies. It's mostly educated gambling. They have their fancy algorithms, and they know when things will or not pay out, and they know what they need to do in order to make a profit. Now, historically speaking, they've been so profitable. You look at Geico, majority of their spend, you look at their 10K and look at all the business, it's mostly advertising. Because whether people like it or not, some people perceive insurance as a commodity. While I certainly don't, since I've had better experiences with some over others, there are a lot of people that kind of feel similar to high fructose corn syrup in a can, also known as soda pop, or soda, or pop, depending on where you live in the country. So in order to gain market share, traditionally they have to do a lot of advertising. Now, with Geico, it'll be interesting to see. Unfortunately, they do not specify what parts of the company in terms of those roles. It sounds as if it might be kind of a flat rate in terms of all departments affected equally. Good rule of life if you're just getting early in your career, or if you're thinking about career. Sales, while you do have your ups and downs, traditionally those are the last people to let go when it comes to layoffs, because they're generating it's a very direct correlation to their performance and the performance of the business. So one of my mentors early on in my life always told me sales is a pretty safe bet in terms of job and career stability, as long as you can perform adequately, or even better, accelerate your performance and perform even better than the rest. Now, nevertheless, in regards to the communications from the CEO, Todd Combs, he actually said that, and this was a company-wide email, which I actually do kind of, certain instances where emails just make sense because they're a time saver. It'll be interesting to see if there's any cultural backlash internally in terms of the company, if they would have preferred a video call or an all-hands call, which if you work in corporate America, it's exactly what it sounds. Everyone, all hands on deck, everyone in the company gets on a giant conference call, and you listen to leaders and see what kind of ideas they have. And sometimes, if you're lucky, they'll ask for feedback, and they give you more insight to the company's current and future state. Now, in terms of this company-wide email, Todd Combs cited the need to the position to, this is for regarding why they did layoff. He said the need was for, quote, long-term profitability and growth. And they additionally said that, and that's unquote, additionally said that the layoffs are due to a number of factors, including the inflation and rising medical costs. In addition to parts and labor shortages have extended their auto repair times, adding a, quote, very difficult period, unquote, this according to the CEO. So it'll be interesting. That's another thing when it comes to the good old-fashioned ripple effect. Kind of throw a stone in a pond. Well, I was going to say, depending on where you live, that may or may not be a conceivable thing. But if you do that, you'll see the ripples go throughout, the whole pond. And they get bigger and bigger. Oh, they start very big and they get really small, but it goes throughout the whole pond. So interestingly enough, a lot of these factors are people like, oh yeah, inflation, that's not, there's actually some people that maybe I should do, let me know, would you appreciate me doing like a street interview where I go on the streets and ask crowds of people? There are people who legitimately don't think there's an inflation issue right now. They think the economy is great, including the U.S. Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, which, yeah, she's the one who says, oh yeah, we can afford to give even billions upon billions of dollars with no fiscal ramifications. Which again, is akin to having a teenager 10 grand in credit card debt and asking dad to use the other credit card, and they go, oh yeah, this will fix the situation, I'll just buy more candy and popcorn and single cycle unicycles. I assume that's what youth purchase these days. CD players still in style, maybe, perhaps. But it'll be interesting in terms of industry similarities. State Farm had a similar layoff where they allowed specifically about 11% of the workforce. That was a couple months ago in August. That correlated to about 2,400 employees. So again, another company where traditionally very profitable, pretty consistent in their growth rate. Now, let me know in the comments, do you think this is them just trimming the fat and using some political talk? Or is it legitimately because of these increased costs, the increased healthcare costs in the United States, as well as the increase of, the parts getting hard to find? And that's only going to get worse if, unfortunately, you use something that's manufactured by Ford, GM, or Stellantis, also known as Chrysler. Well, I say that because they're still on strike. So part of the strike includes the parts department. So if you need a part to repair your vehicle, and statistically speaking, those need many repairs, well, you're going to have to sit and wait because they're very short-staffed. Now, I think in terms of the lesson to learn in terms of those companies, the lessons learned should be cross-train your employees. So when there's inevitable strike, because there are always strikes for those companies, well, then you can adapt quicker and you don't have to worry about these affecting your customers. Now, nevertheless, going back to Geico, their automotive insurance, well, they do all insurance, but I think most people know them for automotive insurance. It'll be interesting to see, will this also increase their prices as well? And is this indicative of the economy going to get worse over time? Let me know in the comments. It'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time in to do today. Don't forget to take time to like, subscribe, and comment. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October, so you can click that button. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, the comments and the feedback make the show better and better, and I appreciate it, even if it's critical, because that's how you improve the most, I would argue. Also, and lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.